Hey everybody, welcome to the SERVE Brew. It's Tori Townley. It's just me today, actually. Usually have guests, but it's just me hanging out with you guys. Today we are going to talk a little bit about all things holiday outreach. So I have my poinsettia coffee mug today. If you're a Christmas coffee mug person, I have Santa Claus, poinsettias. I just have all the things, all the occasions. So I actually just wrapped up our ARC meetup. We did a serve holiday edition meetup. And I got to hear from several churches, several leaders just about all things holidays, what they're dreaming up, what they're planning, how things are looking a little different this year. And it was just so inspiring. And I was like, you know what? I just want to kind of dive into that a little bit more, give some thoughts and share some things that I've seen and observed along the way. And I thought maybe it could just encourage you guys. So, probably won't go too long on this episode today, but I hope that you guys enjoy it. Just kind of get in the mentality of what are we gearing up for this season? How can we adjust things? What needs to look different? What needs to look the same? And really just connecting to the who and the heart of it all. So quickly, well, I'm just going to kind of break it down into three different segments. So we'll start with our fall holiday outreaches, and then we'll go. Well, fall kind of like the whole trick or treat, trunk or treat. What do you do with that? Where does that go? Then Thanksgiving, and then we'll talk Christmas. So, fall outreaches. Your church, for me, I grew up Halloween, we just don't touch it. Like darkness, it's centered in darkness. There's no point in being involved in that. And I still have some of those views like darkness is what it's anchored in and centered in, and I don't want to participate in that. But I also have the perspective, and I thank you, Pastor Chad Dinkle, for really giving me this a couple years ago. But just the idea of Halloween is one of the few holidays where neighborhoods, families get together, they're out and about. You have neighbors knocking on your door. When else does that happen? Like in our culture, in our society, you don't go to your neighbor's house and ask for sugar. A lot of times you don't, a cup of sugar. You don't even know your neighbor's name sometimes. And that's hard. So when you have an opportunity like Halloween where people are literally coming to your door, people who live next door to you just to hang out or get a thing of candy, whatever, it can be a really great opportunity. So whatever your view on it is, like, yes, we want to be very careful. We want to be guarded. We don't want to engage in the darkness. But at the same time, Chad said something like, leave your light on. Like, shine your light in the darkness. So literal light of your house, the light of your heart. And he said to give out king size candy bars. Don't even give out the fun size. Like, go all out, do it right, invite people to church, let them know that you're praying for them, just show kindness. So I just have kind of carried that with me over the years. And also in the past, we did a podcast with Dr. Joe and Kelly Carson at Memphis Dream Center. And one of the things they also said is like, in the communities that they serve, and many of us too, families and kids are going to be going out no matter what. And so, why not give them a safe place and a safe way to engage and be involved that night, that evening, that day, whatever? So, that's another cool perspective to take into it. Like, people are going to go somewhere. Why don't we be the ones that hosts that and reshape that narrative and give them hope, give them kindness, give them Jesus? So, cool thing to look at it that way. I know this year things may look a little bit different or a lot different in light of social distancing, all of those things. So talking with different people, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but one of the ideas that was shared in our meetup, I'm going to give him a shout out. Brian Thrower, Lake Hills, Calera, Alabama, shared that they are doing a reverse trick or treat this year. So they're going to invite people in their church to help make up like little goodie bags, little treat bags, and they're going to go deliver the treats to the adopt a block families or the people in their community that they know. So instead of having people come door to door or come out, they're going to go deliver it just to kind of keep things easy, but also have a great volunteer experience. So that's super cool. Love that idea. At my church here in Baton Rouge, I was out of town. My girl Haley, she's so awesome, planned a trunk or treat party for some single moms, the kids of single moms in a neighborhood at our adopt a block neighborhood. So it's a sober living home, and I want to say there's about 20 moms there, and they all have little kids. So we were very careful social distancing, but we did a scary free trunk or treat. So our people decorated the backs of their cars. One lady did like a Nemo theme, and there's just all kinds of cool stuff. They brought activities and food. Um, but one of the fun things, they did pumpkin painting at the party, and we had like a lot left over. We're like, what? Haley was like, what do we do with these? So we actually have another neighborhood that we're looking at starting adopt a block and more activities there. And Haley did a pumpkin drop. She attached outreach cards to them and went and just dropped pumpkins on neighbors' doors and said, "Hey, we love you. Enjoy a pumpkin. Why not?" So it's random, but it's so cool. And so I just love like the resourcefulness of that. I love how it's just thinking through what are some small ways we can just say, hey, we're here in this season. We're here with you. I think a lot of people are getting just geared up for the holidays. I think I've heard so many people say, I've seen a lot of posts like, can we just start Christmas now? Like, we just need to slow down. We need to, or speed up. Some people need to speed up. I don't know. People are just ready for like that deep breath of holidays, cheer, a little bit of normalcy. I'm just kind of looking forward to celebrating 2020 and enjoying whatever, enjoying that cheer. So even as we gear into Halloween, we go into Thanksgiving, just thinking about what type of warm presents can we bring? How can we reflect that? How can we help people just feel loved? And I know that's what y'all been doing so long, but my heart is just that we will be able to maybe, even as leaders, slow down a little bit from the it's been so fast paced, gotta get the groceries out, gotta take care of the families, and I want that to continue. But I just pray that we'll be able to all kind of Sabbath in a way, slow down a little bit, and be able to just weave thoughtfulness and a personal touch into all of these things that we're doing. So I just want to encourage you guys with that. I don't know where you're at, what you're doing, but just give yourself margin and share opportunities. Don't feel like you have to figure it all out. Don't feel like it has to look like it has in years past. If you need to clear the slate, start with a blank canvas, that's okay. That's great. Make it look different, just so long as it can be thoughtful, it can reflect the heart of Jesus, and you get to have a personal touch, loving people. That is fantastic. So do that. My girl Bree mentioned something um, that they're talking through in Birmingham, and it's just the idea of quantity versus quality. And that's something we talk about a lot at Servolution and some of our outreach creation tips. JP Brumfield taught me this, but you think through when you're creating an outreach of any kind, you do have to weigh out, is our goal quantity right now, or is our goal to have a high quality experience? And sometimes it's both, and sometimes it's one or the other. And I don't feel like there's a right or wrong answer. You have to pray and know, like, what is the goal with this? So for holidays, it is important to think through, do we want to do a big blast in the community? Do we just want to give out tons of groceries, let people know we're here as a church, that we love them, we're here for them? Or do we want to kind of dial back our numbers and really get some quality time with fewer families, but deeper level, building relationships, maybe a more extravagant gift for certain families? I don't know if that makes sense, but it is just like, it's not right or wrong. It's just, what is our heart right now? What's in our hand? How can we steward it well? And what's going to move our vision forward? How's it going to help us love people the most? And you also want to consider, what's your volunteer experience going to look like? Because outreach leaders, if you're new to this, you may not know, but the experienced ones, we all know that holidays are when people are most likely to volunteer. Sometimes that can be a little bit frustrating because you're like, where y'all at year round? Where were you every first Saturday? All of a sudden, we got 1,000 people we got to plug into opportunities, which is a fantastic problem. But it's also just kind of like, man, what's the deal here? Where has everybody been? But keep the perspective healthy there. And I wanna encourage you guys, like, I've gotten frustrated with that in the past, but I know that's dumb because it's on me to take that momentum that we do get at Christmas or Thanksgiving or even, like, July serve days when you have those people, it's on us to be able to say, "Hey, you guys did a great job today. Thank you so much for serving. I see this potential in you. I see this passion in you. Here's how we'd love to have you get involved year round if you're able to." Making sure that your volunteer experience is so great that they want to come back and that you make it clear on how they can do that. So keep that intentional, especially this year. I think a lot of people are going to be ready maybe to kind of jump in and serve, and we're also going to need to keep in mind the people who still you may maybe need to stay back. You're going to have people who aren't able to get out yet or don't need to. You want to keep your social distancing very careful with all of that. So thinking through just what does their experience look like? How can everyone get involved, have a high quality um, experience and know that they've really made a difference. So it's a lot to think through. I know I ramble a lot, but I'm just so passionate about it. And there's so many beautiful dynamics. There's so much harmony to be captured in all of this, to be painted through all of this. It's like a symphony. We just get to conduct a beautiful symphony. So it's fun. Got to make sure we have fun with it all. Um, so those are just some dynamics to think through as we go through all of this. I'm going to move into Thanksgiving now. Um, I think it's pretty across the board. Most churches I talk to, it's pretty standard. We're going to do the turkey drive like we usually do. We're going to deliver groceries to families. That is fantastic. If that's your jam, go for it. Some churches I'm talking to are adjusting a little bit. Maybe there will be a drive-through where families are invited to come and pick up food, or maybe they'll, whatever that looks like for you as a church, that's awesome. Again, you just want to think through that personal touch factor. I know one of my favorite things I've seen done is before your Thanksgiving outreach, having an opportunity where this could go virtual, having opportunities where children or families or the elderly in your serve groups, whoever, can make personal cards and pray over the gift baskets that are going out, or they decorate the bags. Like if you guys do paper bags or any sort of baskets, they can like decorate them and just kind of have a personal touch, a personal prayer point over all of the things that you're going to be giving out that day. So it creates another thoughtful layer to the serve itself, and it also creates a new outreach opportunity for your volunteers to check in on. So just kind of consider that if you haven't already. It's a great thing to do. And I know some families with like younger kids, and again, the elderly community, sometimes they don't feel comfortable coming out on a Saturday to deliver. Like I am horrible at geography, I get lost. I love delivering those baskets, but I need a friend with me. If it was just me, I would be all over the place. So consider people like me who are a little ditzy and be like, "Hey, maybe you're not the best driver, but you're a good writer. So why don't you create a card?" Just little things like that go such a long way. I talked to somebody the other day who said she was planning the outreach, she was coordinating, and had like a spreadsheet she was working through, just names to keep track of, addresses, all of this stuff. And God put it on her heart to invite a woman in the church um, to help her with the spreadsheet. She's like, "Oh, it's such a burden. I hate to ask her to do this, but God kind of led me to do it." When she asked the lady, she found out the lady had been going through depression. She'd been going through just really sadness and feeling no purpose in life. And when she asked her to help input the names on this spreadsheet and keep track of their info, the lady said it gave her so much purpose. She thanked her, like, "Thank you for choosing me to do this. I feel purpose again. I'm able to pray over every single name. All of the families that we're reaching, I'm able to just look at their names and spend time personally praying for them." And so just keep that in mind as you're working through all of this stuff. There's so many connection points that we can make with people. It's such a it's such a simple thing, and don't feel like you have to hoard it. Don't feel like you have to make it perfect. Share it. Everything that you can share, share, because someone's purpose might be found within what you find as a burden. They might be able to cover families in prayer. And I really believe that intercession leads to some big things, like the spiritual realm. We have got to have prayer, prayer, prayer all up in our outreach, because that's where the magic happens. Like God's moving, the Holy Spirit's moving in that realm. And so making sure prayer is interjected and covering everything. I'm not talking just general opening, closing prayers. I'm talking like deep intercession for people. So make sure that's in there. That's big. Another factor for Thanksgiving, it kind of applies to everything, but um think about partnerships. I know from experience, a lot of organizations are going to be doing holiday projects, especially Thanksgiving. There's a lot of organizations usually who will be doing some sort of meal, some sort of delivery. And so, if your church maybe isn't in a place this year where you can do the whole drive, maybe you've never done it before, aren't sure if you want to start with a turkey delivery, call up those organizations that maybe you're already partnered with, maybe you're not, because I really think that organizations are probably starting to get ready to take on more volunteers, and there's gonna be maybe a shortage, possibly. Like, I've talked to some people who are saying, like, organizations are really hungry for volunteers right now. So you as a church may be able to just say, "Hey, we wanna come alongside you. We wanna unite with you. We wanna support you. We have volunteers who are ready to get out there." So you're able to just send your biggest resource, which is your people. You're giving them a chance to make a difference. And all you've got to do is, sow a seed, send some people, work with them, and just let them know you're here. So check that out. That's a great idea that I've heard a lot of people focusing on. Think about your schools. I've talked to some people who are looking at just talking with like the guidance counselors. Who are the families who are really struggling this year? What are the students who need the most help? How can we come alongside them there? It's okay to not feel like you have to do a full on city blast. It's okay if you handpick some families to really just serve and love if you need to. So just really prayerfully walk through that. What does God have for you? What does God want you to do? How does He want you to respond? Um, and really just spread His love. Just follow His direction in all of this. So, Thanksgiving, it's fun. I love also a big thing that we've talked through in the past is considering if you're doing a food giveaway, a turkey drive, all that. Don't forget the people who don't have kitchens, who don't have ovens, people who live on the streets. Those are the guys who are, you know, I think Thanksgiving is a lot of family. It's about family, it's about being together, it's about obviously thankfulness. So thinking about the ones who maybe are lonely, who don't have a family table, um, consider those guys. So at the Dream Center in Birmingham, we would do the big turkey giveaway, but also we'd throw a Thanksgiving party for our community friends who were on the streets. And we say, hey, we're doing family dinner on Saturday at noon. Be there. We'd have the turkey. Our cooking team would do a great full on Thanksgiving spread, cornbread dressing, cranberry sauce. And then we do like, all the games. We had one time we did like a pie eating contest. Just make it fun, just like your own family Thanksgiving dinner. Make sure that you're giving that experience to the community, to the people who maybe don't have family. And again, social distancing may look different. You may not be able to do a whole party. I talked to C3 Church in Toronto today. Shout out Denise. And they had their Canadian Thanksgiving a little while ago. And they said that they just focused on groups of 10 because they're still kind of heavy on the social distance requirements, but they focused on their small groups having dinner parties, and they helped make sure everybody had the PPE that they needed, the gloves, the hand sanitizer, delivering meal kits, that kind of stuff. So maybe it's having a small group kind of get together and adopt an outreach, adopt a family dinner for your people who are living under the bridge. Just kind of think through who's missing, who's on the outskirts. Really let the question of who drive what you do. It's all about the who. Who does Jesus want us to love? Okay, so Thanksgiving, we could go on and on. Just be creative and have fun with it. All about the who. Christmas, this is the big one, and I could spend forever on this. I probably should have done that one first. Should have gone in reverse order. Christmas is my jam. I love Christmas outreach. There's so much you can do, so much fun with it. Um, I think one of my big things that I've learned along the way, and I really give credit to, again, Dr. Joe and Kelly Carson, big thing for me is dignity. So I think especially after this 2020 year, families are going through so much. And I just think about like my husband and how much he takes pride in being able to provide for his family. And when I've like just thinking about times when it's been harder, which is really never, but like right at the beginning of our marriage, like he was just kind of in between positions looking for a job. And that was only a couple of months, but I remember just like how down he got thinking about not having an income. And I like things were fine. Like I didn't even notice. Like it's cool, we're good. What are you talking about? But just that idea of like, I just have a couple months of no income and she's taking on the bait, like whatever role play, like I don't care about that. But for him, it was something that meant so much to be able to provide. So I think about these families that have gone through so much this Christmas, I mean, this year, and Christmas might be really, really hard on a lot of them. So thinking through how can we instill dignity while we come alongside and help meet those needs? So one of the things that I've loved over the years in the past has been the Christmas shopping mall idea, which credit to like Arkansas Dream Center, Memphis Dream Center, Birmingham. Lots of people have done that. And I think the coolest part about it is like the parents get the chance to come in, do the shopping, wrap the gifts, give the presents to their kids that morning. We don't get to be the hero of the story, they do. That's big to me. I've read some books and just experienced some things personally. Like I've done outreaches that were really dumb where it was like, hey, we got all these gifts sponsored and we're going to come deliver them and watch your kids open them. And that's fantastic. But what we didn't know, and I realized later, was like, but also the dad of the home didn't even come out that day because maybe he felt shame because someone else is coming and watching his kids do Christmas. Like, that's terrible to say, but that is the truth of like the past. I didn't think through that before. And now I've learned some lessons like, no, you want to make sure that you're not the hero of the story. You want to make sure that Jesus is glorified and that the families are the ones who are getting to just be together, to be celebrated and honored, and just making sure that the dignity is placed on them. So whatever that looks like, I know Memphis, they do like, I think in the past at least, it's been like the store where you can come shop for your Christmas mall. They do like 10 cents on the dollar or something to where it's not even a fully free event. The parents get to pay a little bit so they feel like they're investing something. So that's a cool thing to consider too. And again, I know social distancing, we have to keep that in mind. I do think that doing a shopping mall in some cases can still work. You have to think through shifts, making sure that your shoppers are, in smaller segments, making sure you're able to do the whole distancing thing. But if you look at your stores, you look at your Walmarts, your Targets, whatever, they're able to do it. Got your six feet apart stickers on the floor, got the waiting line outside. We're gonna let 10 people in at a time, whatever it is, wiping things down in between. I definitely think that that is still doable if that's something that you've done before, or even if you want to try it now. We've got tons of how-to resources on our website, serveday.com. I can share that in the show notes. So think through that. That's great. I've talked to some who are like, we're going to do a Giving Hope shopping mall, but we're going to do a drive-through experience. I don't have all the details on how that's going to work yet, so stay tuned. Once I get that, we'll try to share that out, if it's available, because it's not me making it. But just thinking through, like, I think most of you guys have seen some of these drive-through outreach experiences where it's like, hey, we're gonna have different stations. You can get your photo taken here. We're gonna do dunking booth. We're gonna do, I think Bree at Birmingham said they're gonna try to do like a light show tunnel where you drive through and have Christmas music radio synced up, cool stuff. Um, get gross or get gifts handed to you. Wrapping station could still be there. Just different ideas, but think about how you can adapt that, make it fun for people. The big thing is we just want to have cheer, we want to have joy, we want to have a good time, we want to be smiling, we want to know that we're loved. It doesn't We just want to have a lightness of spirit this Christmas. That's what I feel in my heart. Like we just want to have cheer. We need joy. The joy of the Lord is our strength. And I feel like a lot of people need to tap into that this season. So spread cheer, give dignity, be thoughtful, have personal touch. And really, you guys, like whatever you choose to do this Christmas, I don't care what it is, really make sure that you personally have a chance to find your own one. Find your people. Find someone you can look in their eyes, see Jesus, hear their story, know their name, pray with them, truly pray with them. Don't just delegate everything. Delegate, yes, invite people, share your duties, but find your one. Make sure you're in touch with that. That is so vital. I don't care how big picture you are, how much behind the scenes you are, find someone. Even if it's like you're taking the calls, like sometimes I've been the person taking the calls of people who want to apply for shopping mall or whatever it is. Even if you have to say no, which hopefully you don't, but even if you're like, hey, I'm so sorry, we've already signed up all of our shopping mall experience numbers, or we've already given out all of our Thanksgiving vouchers, etc. Never turn someone away without praying with them. Like, just take a few minutes, be like, look, I'm sorry. I can't give you what you asked for today, but let me pray with you. And then if you can, send them home with some kind of hope, like something. If it's let me give you a gift card to McDonald's, or let people know, like it is a personal touch opportunity when someone calls you and asks for help. Don't feel guilty that you didn't get to meet the exact need they asked for, but you have power, you have resources, you have heavenly resources inside of you, you have spiritual gifts. Use them with people. When God sends you a phone call, it's not just a to do list thing, it is a portal to heaven, heavenly experiences. So take time with people. Um, that's big, and I know I've talked with people before when they call to ask about how to do the shopping mall. I refer to that a lot because it's really my favorite thing. There's so many other Christmas things you can do, like pop-up hot chocolate stands or Christmas caroling, or I don't know, angel trees, all of those fun things. The Operation Christmas Child is a big one. That's super fun. But one of the things about the shopping mall experience I keep going back to is the process that it is not just a one-day thing, but if you think about it, for some people at least, if you think about it, the way that I've experienced it is we start like a few months out, and we start by taking in information from people, working on an application to make sure we have all the ages and the names and the genders of the children. We have the address so we can send an invitation. We have a spreadsheet that we make. We send out handwritten invitations with an appointment time and say, hey, show up at the mall this day, this time, this address. Here's your deal. Here's the kids' names we're going to approve for you to be shopping for, all of that. But that's not just a process. That is a journey that we get to have a personal touch with these families from the start, from the second they call our phone to the time they come in to fill out an application, to the time that they receive an invite in the mail, to the time they show up to their appointment. Then they get served a treat. Then they write their gift tag, the names on their gift tags. Then they go to a ministry moment. Then they get to meet their shopping buddy. Then they get a gift, then they get gift wrapping, then they get a gift for themselves as a parent. Their kids are having activities done while they're there, and then we help load the presents in their car, and then they're invited to come back to church the next day with us. They have a personal touch. But from the first day that they give us a phone call, we are getting to love on them. We're getting to minister to them. We're getting to say, hey, we love you. Can I pray with you? They come in to fill out the application. And again, our team is going to say, hey, we just love you so much. We want to be here for you. I have had to turn people away and say, I'm so sorry. We're going to have to put you on the waiting list. We don't have any more room. But I've had people walk away in tears just because we spent time praying with them. That gave them hope. So, again, even if you're not doing that whole process, that's totally fine. But just think about that mentality of like, how do I weave in these moments with people? It's all about moments. That's what the whole thing is how do we get more moments with people? More people having more moments. That's the whole thing of it. So, yeah, I could go on and on with Christmas ideas, but I just wanted to really convey the heart and just make sure that we reflect on that, that we recenter ourselves on that, that we get our heart anchored, we get our heart ready. Really, you guys, be sure that you're Sabbathing, that you're taking time to just really be humble, be looking Jesus eye to eye as much as you can. No hurry, no hustle bustle this season, no hustling, none of that. Like, just be so at peace in your spirit that that's what you give to people. So much joy given to you from Jesus directly that that's what comes out of you. That's what our communities need right now. So just let that be contagious on you. I just want to kind of prophesy for a second, but like, you guys are anointed for this. You are in this position. You were chosen for this year. This is not a cursed year. This is a blessed year. No matter how bad it's gotten, no matter how dark it's gotten, no matter what you've walked through, this is a favored and blessed year for the kingdom of God. And you were chosen for such a time as this. You are anointed. You are favored. The work that you do, where God has already pre-written all of it. All of these works you were destined for. So take hold of that, take authority of that, live fully into that, and let his spirit just come over you this season. Work out of peace. Don't work out of, I want to even say, take off the excellent spirit. If that overtakes you, if you have a temptation to feel like it has to be excellent all the time. Yes, excellence is of God, but just slow down and let it be a little bit more about thoughtfulness, maybe. It's not so much about performance, it's about thoughtfulness. Thoughtfulness, excellence to me sometimes can be about the performance, but thoughtfulness tends to be more about the people. So if you feel a temptation for that or you feel a pressure for that, give yourself some freedom to let it be about people, thoughtfulness. So, okay, yeah, that's kind of my holiday spiel. I'll probably get off this call and think about a million other things that I should have said, but I just really wanted to take time to encourage you guys, let you know how much I love you, how thankful I am for you. We pray for you guys regularly. We are here for you to support you. Whatever you need, let us know. And go start your Christmas music up, your worship music and your Christmas music. Have a little bit of both every day. Get your coffee mugs out, your poinsettia coffee mugs, drink some pumpkin spice, and have a blast. Have a blast this season. I love y'all, and I'm so excited to see what comes out of the rest of 2020. Y'all are the best. Have a great day. Bye.